Imagine a place where all human knowledge, philosophy, medicine, mathematics, astronomy was gathered under one roof. A place where the greatest minds of the ancient world could build upon each other's discoveries, shaping the course of humanity. Now imagine that place lost, erased not just by fire, but by time. What could we have achieved if it had survived? This is the story of the Library of Alexandria, the greatest repository of knowledge the world has ever known, and one of its greatest tragedies. Our journey begins in the 3rd century BCE, in the bustling city of Alexandria, perched on the northern coast of Egypt. After the death of Alexander the Great, one of his generals, Ptolemy I Soter, took control of Egypt. Ptolemy wasn't just a conqueror, he was a visionary. He dreamed of building a city that would be the beating heart of knowledge and culture. Under his rule, Alexandria blossomed, and at its core stood a monument to human curiosity, the Library of Alexandria. The library was part of the Mouseion, a great center of learning dedicated to the Muses, the goddesses of the arts and sciences. Scholars from Greece, Egypt, India, Persia, and beyond traveled to Alexandria. They lived, worked, and debated in the Mouseion, supported by the state, free to focus entirely on discovery. Their mission was simple, but immense, to gather all the knowledge of the world. No effort was spared. Ships that docked in Alexandria's port were searched for books and scrolls. Any manuscripts found were copied. The originals were often kept in the library, while a copy was returned to the owner. Ptolemy's successors even sent emissaries across distant lands to buy or seize works of knowledge. At its height, the library may have housed as many as 700,000 scrolls, perhaps even more. The contents were staggering. Works of literature, history, science, and medicine, ancient treatises on astronomy from Babylon, mathematical theories from India, medical knowledge from Egypt, philosophy from Greece. It wasn't just Greek works, it was a global treasure trove. The library also wasn't just a place for storage. It was alive with activity. Scholars conducted research, compiled encyclopedias, debated theories, and even worked to organize all existing knowledge systematically. One of its chief librarians, Eratosthenes, famously calculated the circumference of the Earth with remarkable accuracy, over 1,700 years before Columbus set sail. But within a few centuries, it was gone. No single event explains the library's destruction. Instead, it's a story wrapped in layers of mystery, myth, and loss. One major theory points to Julius Caesar. In 48 BCE, during his civil war against Pompey, Caesar became trapped in Alexandria. In a desperate move, he ordered his men to set fire to the Egyptian fleet to block his enemies. The flames spread uncontrollably, consuming parts of the city. Ancient sources like Plutarch suggest that warehouses full of scrolls, possibly connected to the library, were burned. But historians debate: did the main library survive? Was only a depot destroyed? The truth remains uncertain. Another possibility is that the library didn't vanish overnight, but withered away over time. Political instability rocked Alexandria for centuries. Successive rulers neglected the great institution. Earthquakes damaged parts of the city. Scrolls, vulnerable to humidity, insects, and simple human forgetfulness, decayed. Still others point to religious conflict. In the late 4th century CE, Christianity became the dominant force in the Roman Empire. Pagans and their institutions were increasingly viewed with suspicion. In 391 CE, the Patriarch Theophilus of Alexandria oversaw the destruction of pagan temples. Could the library, or what remained of it, have been a casualty of this purge? Some think so. There's also the account from centuries later, during the Muslim conquest of Alexandria in 642 CE. A story claims that Caliph Umar ordered the destruction of any books that contradicted the Quran, saying, "If they agree with the Quran, they are redundant. If they disagree, they are heretical." But most historians today view this tale as a legend, not fact. By then, the library likely no longer existed. The truth is messy. Most scholars agree that no single catastrophe ended the Library of Alexandria. Rather, it was a slow death, a combination of fire, neglect, war, religious intolerance, and the passage of time. But what did we truly lose? The most painful part is not knowing. Imagine if the theories of ancient scientists like Archimedes had been preserved and expanded upon. Imagine if steam power, hinted at by ancient inventors like Hero of Alexandria, had been fully realized 2,000 years ago. Imagine advances in medicine, astronomy, and mathematics pushing human civilization centuries ahead. The Renaissance, which revived classical knowledge in the 15th century, might have occurred 1,000 years earlier. We might have reached the Industrial Revolution during the Middle Ages. Perhaps we could have journeyed to the stars by now. When the library fell, it wasn't just books that were lost. It was 1,000,000 dreams, futures that never came to be. The tragedy of the Library of Alexandria reminds us how fragile knowledge can be. It warns us that great achievements can vanish not only by violence, but by apathy and neglect. And it challenges us to protect what we have, to nurture curiosity, to preserve ideas, to share wisdom across generations. The library may be gone, but its spirit lives on. Every book, every library, every archive is a tribute to that ancient dream, to gather the world's knowledge and to use it to build a better future. What do you think happened to the Library of Alexandria? Was it consumed by Caesar's fire, eroded by centuries of neglect, or something even more mysterious? And what knowledge do you believe was lost forever? Share your theories in the comments. I'd love to hear your thoughts. And if you want to keep exploring the hidden vaults of history, don't forget to subscribe to Vault of Ages. Our next journey will take us even deeper into the lost chapters of the human story. Until then, stay curious. And remember, not all treasures are made of gold.